Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Canadian Shield. My name is Sterling, and I'm your host. The Conservatives tried to get us a break on the taxes for the gas, and the Liberals stood up and tried to tell everybody that it wasn't no big deal, right? Which always bothers me, because if it's no big deal, then it doesn't bother you to turn it off, right? If you say to yourself that doing it won't make an impact, then why fight it? Then let it make no impact. Prove it. The Liberals and the far left rely too heavily on their hand-selected people, right? They got scandal after scandal after scandal. They literally have traitors in the cabinet sitting in the House of Commons laughing at Canadians while they keep the taxes up. But let's just leave the scandal aside. How many people like me told you that when they started going through all that money, that they would have to tax you to get it back? Because the outfits, the bankers that lent that money, they want their money. It's like owing money to the mob. They want it, so they have to pay it. Now they're in this real weird conundrum where they can't give us a tax break because they've shrunk the economy so far, so small, that they're not making any extra money. The amount of money they got coming in is less and less and less and less and less. So I took a few clips of the Conservatives trying to talk the Liberals into doing it. Of course, the Liberals refused to. I mean, I cut the Liberals out. It's all the same thing, right? Oh, the Canadians are happy that we're giving people over 75 free dentures, and Canadians are happy that we're giving women who otherwise would need to have other forms of medical procedures, the birth control pill. And of course, the one I love the most is, the Conservatives don't know any better, because somehow the Liberals are doing so well on the math as it is. All right, so let's listen to some of these, and then I'll give you my 2 cents.
The level of hypocrisy on that side of the House is nothing short of astonishing. The Prime Minister is literally jet-setting around the world on his gas-fueled jet. And the Health Minister says, you know what, kids, you can't go on a family trip because it will cause the planet to burn. We have the simplest common sense motion right now that will save Ontario families $592. That might mean nothing to them, but it means a lot. So will they listen, have some compassion, and axe the tax so families can make memories and enjoy their time together? Yeah! Mr. Speaker, nobody believes a word that side of the House says. They have completely lost trust in Canadians. They've caused chaos. They've caused crime. They've caused complete despair. Despair. People are using food banks at the highest record level they've ever used in their life. Nobody believes what they're saying. 35 cents a litre at the pumps? Do you know what that will save? Cost to ship the food. It will allow families to actually feed their families, and most importantly, will take off the stress that is creating mental health crises in this country. So while they stand over there and say that, we will fight for this. Will they? Yeah.
This NDP Liberal Prime Minister loves to jet set around the world on his luxury vacations, but then stick the taxpayers with the bill. Yep. Meanwhile, the Liberal Health Minister is telling Canadians you cannot take a summer vacation or the planet will burn. This hypocrisy is ridiculous, and it's just not true. Conservatives have a common sense plan to axe all federal gas taxes until Labor Day, ensuring that Canadians can take their families on a summer vacation. Will the Liberal NDP Prime Minister stop his hypocrisy, stop his radical policies, axe the tax so Canadians can take their summer holiday? Here's the facts, Mr. Speaker. I was at a seniors' home in Claresholm this weekend where they're seeing their rent increase 5% to cover the cost of the carbon tax. Wow. This is forcing seniors to make very difficult choices, either stay in their home, afford food, or find other accommodations. Those are the facts. Common sense Conservatives are putting forward a plan that will save 35 cents a litre for Canadians. This will save Alberta families $955 this summer. Will the out-of-touch Liberals support the common sense Conservative plan to axe the tax so Canadians can take a well-deserved summer vacation with their family?
Okay, so you heard those clips of the Conservative Party trying to convince the Liberals to vote in favor of giving Canadians a tax break. And The Liberals and the NDP, of course, voted against it because they, first of all, most of them cannot think. They're not allowed to have, they don't have their own vote. So that's really kind of the shame. That's no longer democracy, right? The NDP can't, whatever, no matter what the constituents of the NDP want, they have to vote whatever the Liberals vote, because that's the deal, right? Supply and confidence. So that's the mockery that they make of the political system. They think that they've been elected kings and queens, but really they're supposed to be there representing the people that are in their neighborhoods, that are in their regions. And if the people that are in their regions live in the rural area, there's no way in the world that the gas tax, no matter what you call it, is good for the person living in the rural region. The person that has to, many of the NDP are from British Columbia, right? Many of them have to take boats to get to the mainland, which means they have to take boats to get their groceries. There's no way in the world that supporting the Jagmeet Singh's and his desire to get a pension on the backs of Canadians is the way democracy is supposed to work. But they don't have that idea in their mind. They think that somehow they'll just be able to do whatever they want, whenever they want, and nobody can stop them. Now, I think that it's kind of telling that the conservative, I think that it's kind of telling that the Liberal Party refuses to give us a tax break, all the while telling you that the taxes are not costing any money. So if they're not causing any problems, then it should be no difficulty to give us a couple of months off. And it doesn't matter what you say to yourself. A couple of months off would be a great respite, would be an excellent way to have a deep breath. I mean, if you stand in the House of Commons and say to yourself, we understand that Canadians are going through a lot of stuff, then give us a break. You shouldn't be telling yourself that we have to pay more. And they didn't ask for much beyond the federal taxes to come off. I mean, the taxes that we pay to the federal government are only going to pay debts down anyway. They borrowed so much money. The bankers that they borrowed the money from are never going to give us a break. The interest rates are going to roll over, and all of a sudden we're going to be deeper in debt. So what does it matter if you take a couple of months? You're not paying off any amount of taxes any amount of debts in 90 days. But Canadians, on the other hand, would really be able to take a deep breath. They might be able to get ahead. They might be able to stockpile some groceries. They might be able to do some things that would allow them to live a better caliber of living. But the Liberal and the NDP caucus doesn't seem to care about how you're living. They only seem to care about how they are living, which is really something that Canadians need to discuss. Like the idea that somehow we are supporting a democracy because we elected people who then colluded together, can scheme together with foreign governments. I mean, there's no way in the world that we shouldn't be protesting. We should all be protesting. We should be protesting the tax increases. We should be protesting the cost of the food, but mostly we should be protesting the fact that when the Liberals and the NDPs collude together, they take away our right to decide. They are representatives of us, not the other way around. We don't have to do what they tell us. They have to do what we tell them. All right, I'm going to wrap here. I want to thank you all for listening. I would appreciate it if you would share this channel with your friends. Like and comment. I'll talk to you next time.